Welcome back, everyone. I hope it's been a wonderful couple of days for everybody else. It's a little rainy here still, but we had our few days of really, really nice sun, hence the burn. I have nice tan arms, but my neck and everything is burnt, and then I'm white on my shoulders. But otherwise, I hope everybody's enjoying this beautiful sun, and at least with the rain, maybe we won't have such a drought. We'll see. We'll see. In the meantime, we're going to pick back up with the fight. And when we left off, we were on chapter 20, and this was talking about how it was the group of Christian parents who were against having a gay lesbian group for kids in schools. So where we're going to pick up, I think this is when they go to the board meeting, is what it actually says. So we're going to pick up back on chapter 20. I'm going to take my little blue sticky note out of here. It's a little, they're legal signatures, but, whatever. Chapter 20. And then it was the night of the school board meeting. There were 4 kids willing to talk and Lydia's parents. It almost didn't happen. When I'd emailed to get an agenda, I got a reply from the secretary saying that the policy wasn't up for review for 2 more years. Exactly what do you want to say, the secretary wrote. At first, I was going to call Zoe. She'd given me her number, but I felt shy about it. Then I had a better idea. I called Mateo. He was really distracted at first, but when I yelled at him and cried a little, he started listening. I told him everything I could think of. Well, it sounds like there's a connection between the policy and bullying not being stopped, and some of this bullying may have led to the suicides. It was so simple when he said it like that. So that's exactly what I wrote back to the secretary. She responded that we'd have 15 minutes on the agenda. Oh, geez, 15 minutes. Wow. When I got to the meeting with my mom, I saw Zoe right away with her parents. They were both wearing PFLAG t-shirts. Zoe was craning her neck to look for everyone else. We have to sign up to talk during open discussion on a topic. Other people, I don't know, are already signed up for our topic, she said in a low voice. Well, that's always a nice thing. It means you have supporters. Is one Mrs. Walton, I asked? Yeah, and a couple of others. Okay, in this case, maybe not so much. She wants to dispute it. It sounds like somebody on the inside called her and said, hey, they want to argue this. You should come and argue against it. I wasn't going to talk, but maybe I should sign up just to hold a spot. Or put down one of the others' names. I don't think the secretary would let me sign up everyone. Zoe gestured towards a sour-looking woman in a pink sweater at the front table. Zoe chewed a hangnail until it bled. Oh, there's Miss Klein with Lydia's parents. Zoe ran over and took them up to the secretary. They all came back to sit with us. Lydia's mom was wiping her eyes. Miss Klein led over to me. Zoe said, you might speak Spanish. I nodded hesitantly. Mr. and Mrs. Mendoza spoke English, of course, but they're really emotional. If they needed a little translating, could you help? I said. Then my mom leaned into the conversation. Of course we'll help. She went over to Mrs. Mendoza and put an arm around her as she talked. Miss Mendoza's tears really started flowing as she patted my mother's arm and nodded. Mom came back and sat next to me again. Thanks, I whispered to her. She squeezed my hand and got out a Kleenex. Everyone showed up, who said they'd speak. After Zoe got the last person signed up, she whispered, everyone's going to have 2 minutes or less. The secretary uses a stopwatch for the whole meeting. Oh, we went from 15 to 2. Wow. Then one of the people up front banged the hammer thing, and the meeting started. Our row was vibrating with nervousness, through the whole boring beginning of the meeting. Then, discussions of the curriculum policy regarding sexual orientation. This policy was passed by the board last school year. We invited those signed up to speak to the microphone. Please keep your comments brief. We have 15 minutes for this portion of the meeting. Sheila Waltons is the first on our list. Mrs. Walton stepped up to the microphone. May I go last instead, she asked. The secretary nodded. I don't like when people do that. If your whole purpose is to be here to argue something, you should have already written out your counter argument for any point that someone may be able to come up with. So ultimately what she wants to do is listen to everything the kids have to say and then find a way to, I don't know, manipulate and piggyback off of their statements in her benefit. So I don't like when people do that. It's not necessary. Next was another member of the concerned parents who just rambled about the importance of leaving discussions of homosexual lifestyle to parents and churches where they belong. Another one said something similar. Then they called Lydia's parents. My mom went up to the microphone with them, though they didn't end up meeting her. Well, that's a good thing. It means that they were calm, clear, and decisive. Mostly, they had a hard time speaking because they were crying so hard. Okay, maybe not. It is emotional. Lydia's mom said they found almost 100 texts calling Lydia a dyke and telling her she'd be better off dead. I beg your finest pardon. No. And when she told the principal, she just told her to change her number. What kind of help is that? What do you think those kids were saying to her at school? Miss Mendoza said, trying to keep deep breaths. Time, said the secretary. Just for a brief moment, I want to ask people to imagine that. And I don't care what side you're on. You're allowed to have your own opinions. But can you imagine being the sibling, aunt, uncle, parent, teacher to that child? Good or bad, as far as idealisms go, left or right, it doesn't matter. Would you honestly be able to stand up if you were against homosexuality and say something, I don't want to say mean, because if those are your true beliefs, it's not meant to be mean. This is what you hold in, contrast. And I do understand this in some senses. I didn't say I agreed with it, but I was born and raised Roman Catholic. So for just one moment, I would like to take it from that perspective. Would you actually have the heart to stand up at that point and repeat your scripture in the face of a parent who is crying and falling apart? What if it were your kid and you held, with her friend Dominico? Jesus, I already forgot the poor child's name. What if you were those parents and you had a big religion in your faith, and you find out afterwards that he was indeed homosexual? Would you still hold scripture? Would you cast him out and say he was never our son? And I know this is a big one, would you still do proper burial? Because I know that there are some families that, no, if you commit suicide, there is no Roman Catholic Mass for the passing of this individual. It's very odd, and it's a weird thing. On the same side, though, can you imagine being the secretary, good or bad? They're supposed to be biased, as it is, saying to somebody who is falling apart at the mic about their child, time. Oh, you're done. We're dismissing you. I'm sorry. Find something else to do. I don't think I could. It's just food for thought. This is just my thoughts, no one else's, and it's just, it was an odd moment in the book, I think, even for me. But it's also where you start to see that each individual is drawing a line in the sand. This is where their character is starting to develop more, and this is where they are starting to grow upon their beliefs and thoughts. So, this is our big moment in the book at this point. So we're going to continue on. Sorry, I just had to blabber there. Chapter 21. All the kids talked next. They did okay, but the school board didn't do anything to make them less nervous. Some of the school board members barely looked interested or sympathetic. A couple of kids mumbled or talked too fast. Couldn't the school board see that even to come and talk about these embarrassing things showed how serious it was, I thought? The whole thing was very frustrating. I can understand that. Then the secretary called Sheila Walton again. Miss Walton adjusted the microphone. Some of the stories we've heard tonight are quite upsetting, she said. However, I would like to remind everyone that the district already has a policy against bullying. Also, research shows that children who identify as gay have more mental health problems. Oh, no. This is why our group of concerned parents has opposed allowing the GSA clubs in our school to promote such an unhealthy lifestyle. She held out a paper. There are resources available to help individuals wishing to leave the homosexual lifestyle. I would like to see these resources available to all students who are struggling. Then she sat down. We'll just pray the gay away. That's her answer. My blood was pounding in my ears so hard I could barely hear. One of the school board members said something about looking into the matter. Then we had to sit through the rest of the boring meeting. All I could think about was how Mrs. Walton had said the Lydia and Dominica had killed themselves because they were gay, which was true in a way, but not how she meant it. Look, said my mom the next day. We're famous. She showed me the newspaper. There was a photo of the Mendezos at the microphone with my mom sitting nearby, and a short description of the comments at the meeting. Students and parents claimed that the district policy is contributing to bullying of the GLBT students, some of whom have committed suicide in the past 2 years, the paper said. Well, at least someone seems to have gotten it. I don't think any of us wanted to admit it, but the school board meeting had felt so scary that no one really wanted to go to the next one to find out if they were going to do anything. Whatever they say will be in the minutes, Zoe said. The GSA was sitting in Salazar's room. I think he was embarrassed he wasn't doing more, so he had told Zoe he would start using his room to meet again. I can understand. It's hard, though, when you're in that position, when you may potentially lose your job. It's a very thin line. My mom got the emails and they put them online. I said, I'll let everyone know. I'm not holding my breath, said Tyler. Now I think we need a chant to cheer us up. Hands in, GSA, GSA. We rolled our eyes, but soon we were laughing and getting loud. Good. So loud we didn't notice. Oh, Shannon Walton standing in the doorway until Mr. Salazar yelled, guys! As he went over to talk to her, we hushed immediately. Shannon had some questions about auditions for the next play. Mr. Salazar didn't say anything when she left. We just went back to his desk to keep grading, but his face was set. I hope we didn't get him in trouble, I said to Zoe as we left. She looked worried too. Okay, so there's this potential that because he did allow it to happen, exactly what he feared, there would be some fallout. And so because they were feeling it. We defended ourselves. And they were chanting. Mrs. Walton's daughter came into the room and overheard the chanting, and now she may go and do something. That's what this is foreshadowing. And we will find out in chapter 22 where that goes. This whole thing, this is real life. We see it all the time in the paper that these things are happening, and it's sad. It is. But you would think grown adults on a school board, most of these people on my school board anyways, have children, had children that were in the public school system. So I'm just, and then you look at today's modern technology. These things that these people send in emails, text messages, fast, rapid messaging online, like on Messenger for Facebook. I don't know, it blows my mind, and I fear, even with my son. My son's a little different himself. He has autism. He's not, full-blown spectrum, but he does have the actual diagnosis of Asperger's, and so there are weird things my son remembers, like when a book was copywritten. Does he like math? No. Is he good at it? Kind of. Does he like English? Absolutely not. Hates it. But loves to sit back and listen to somebody read, and he pictures the whole thing. And so, going to school is not his best favorite thing because he's not good in English. And my fear is always that at some point someone will pick on him and make fun of him because he has a hard time reading. I don't think I should be feared of that. I think by now we should all understand. Then again, I'm looking at everything happening in politics, and here we are. My son is high functioning in every way, shape, and form. But that doesn't mean anything. There's always someone that's got to point something out. And I think that in this case, the main girl, she is realizing just how much she really wasn't paying attention and how much she wasn't noticing. And it was only surface level for her, and now she's starting to divulge further in. And she's seeing just how bad it is. So I'm going to leave off. We'll pick up later.